Good day and welcome back to another Dbz Dokkan medal video. In this video we are going to take a look at how the strength Android 18 unit does after her recent Extreme Z Awakening on Dbz Dokkan Medal Global in the Android's Extreme Super Battle Road stage. Now this is a pretty tough Extreme Super Battle Road stage. It's one of the tougher ones, I believe. The Androids has quite a strong category overall, so it is quite challenging, for a lot of units. Android 18 here, pretty strong unit. We did a little look at her in a review. Overall, a nice toolkit for things like SBR and ESBR. A very strong toolkit overall. She can do, decent damage because you can build her into a full crit build. She can also debuff the enemy. She lowers attack and defense, and with androids on the entire team, she not only provides a 36% buff in attack and defense for them, but she also provides 3 ki, which is great for this Android 16, who we're going to see super a lot more than we did before, but she also will have a medium chance of firing an additional super attack, which is also quite helpful considering her debuffing on her super attack. And in ESBR and SBR, debuffing the enemy is a super effective strategy because they can have their defense and their attack lowered, especially on the attack side. Multiple instances of the same debuff actually really end up causing not like a massive amount of problems, but end up causing quite a few issues for these units. It's not like they become completely useless, but it definitely does help quite a bit. And I think she fits nicely on the team. We're going to put her into the main rotation, so you will see her sitting alongside Android 16. Now it is possible that we could have beaten the stage using her like this, but I do highly suggest that you utilize her as a floating support unit. So you keep her in the 3rd slot, you try and just leave her there. You don't really focus on using her as a main unit. It's not that she's bad, and you could use her as a main unit if you really are low on options, but it's more that her defense does still take 2 or 3 attacks to kind of get going, and then you do still have the problem, of her damage not really being the same as other main DFE level Androids units. So it's not like she's terrible, it's not like she's not usable, it's not like there's no reason to utilize her in that position, but the honest situation of it is just that there are better units for that position as a main tank. But that being said, she does do fantastic work. We saw her in the review. She does decent level of damage. She can really output some decent defense, as we're seeing. Her defense is rising at a decent rate. It's not completely useless. Just overall, she, like I said, has a great kit for ESBR and SBR. She because you can build her full crit, her lower attack stats aren't the world's biggest issue. Sometimes it can be frustrating when she's not doing more than 2 million or things like that, but overall it's not the absolute end of the world. She can really do some decent damage, and if you aim her properly, you're focusing more on debuffing enemies that are kind of giving you issues, rather than trying to distinctly focus on doing damage with her. You're not trying to actually remove units from the game or things like that with her. She's not a one-hit KO kind of unit. She's someone that you identify a threat, you make sure that she attacks them, and then you'll end up having a much better time dealing with that threat. So for the most part, although she is quite decent, I definitely think that floating position is her best position. She will provide a good buff for the rest of the category. And her link set does make her link pretty well with Android 17 units. Android 16 and 17 also links relatively well with her. But it is really, advisable for you to mainly not focus on linking her with units, and just rather keep her as a generic floater, really to beef up the category. to give yourself options. And because of the slightly wonky link set and the fact that, you know, like Android 13s don't really link that well with other Android's units in the same way, you know, Cell only really links well with Cell. There's a lot of things that realistically you do need to be aware of when you're building an Android's team. So having units like Android 18 that can provide themselves as glue to that entire kind of situation and really make themselves quite powerful in that regard is cool. And yeah, I mean, we're doing decent here. We're using it's taking a little bit longer than our previous run, which is ultimately the issue. Some of that is determinable by the other units though. For example, you know, not getting crits or not getting enough key with Cell. But last time we were running the Android 21 predominantly next to the Android 16. Generally speaking, a nice combo from the perspective of that they don't really share a lot of links, but they pair well with Android 16 able to tank for the most part for Android 21, allowing her to heal and debuff in the second slot and boost her defense in that way. So yeah, they do pair quite nicely, which isn't the biggest issue, but it is obviously quite helpful. So where you'll really see Android 18 shine is in the second fight. The reason being is the less enemies there are, the more Android 18 will shine, with the ability to debuff enemies coming into play a lot more regularly when you can focus it on enemies. Like if you look, for example, we have 2 enemies here, so if Android 18 double debuffs one, you can technically debuff the other with your other units, and that is powerful. There's no real way to talk around it. It is a very solid tactic. A lot of people will use it, constantly debuffing your enemies, or double debuffing them will really help you in terms of decreasing the amount of damage they do, especially in this stage where things are quite finely tuned. It is going to help you quite a lot. But that being said, it's not the absolute necessity to have a double debuff or debuff enemies. It is a nice added bonus, but you shouldn't just build your team entirely on if a unit can debuff. Her defense and her offense still speak for themselves. They are still at a very acceptable level, and because of that we can use them quite confidently. I think if her defense was lower, if everything was lower, she wouldn't really be usable. So I think you can't look at it from the point of view of, oh well, I'm just bringing her to debuff, because you're not. You're bringing her because she does a decent amount of debuffing, but she also has relatively respectable stats, especially for a free-to-play unit. Now you are going to have to put orbs into her to get her to perform to this level. She's not going to perform to this level if you don't rainbow her. She's not going to perform. She could perform slightly better. You could give her equipment. I haven't given her equipment, so definitely could have a slightly better performance in terms of equipment. Giving her extra crit will help with her damage. Extra defense will raise her defense, which is okay. You could give her an additional equipment as well if you feel like you want the chance for her to triple super, which is possible. You can also just give her attack equipment to really raise that attack number as well, all perfectly viable. So there are a lot of options when you talk about Android 18. It's not just like she's a one-trick pony. You do have the ability to improve her quite a bit. But yeah, it is definitely something that I think overall you probably do just want to be aware of when you're using her, that there is ways to maximize her, but she is a free-to-play unit, so you do need those rainbow orbs. You do need to put some investment into her. You can't ever take these free-to-play units into these situations and just expect them to perform to the level that you want them to. You have to kind of really try to build around these units and just give them the best conditions to thrive in these stages, or at least thrive in their best position. Like her as a floating support, best option overall. Would I use her to clear the stage? Yeah, 100%. If I had her when I was first trying, when I was doing my first clears, definitely would use her. I think she is quite useful. I think she's got a nice skill set, and I think she's easy to obtain, which for the most part is quite difficult for some of these Android units. Android 13 is not really on a lot of banners, and he is one of the better units. Super 17, which is one of the best Android units, he's not even on that many banners. He's on a legendary banner. AGL Super 17 is a great unit, but he's not on a lot of banners. He's really only a general pool banner now. So yeah, I just think it is difficult to get some of the key pieces to finishing the Android's like stage. So I think having a free-to-play option like Android 18 is super great. And yeah, I just think it's really awesome to have her. I think she just does a good job. And yeah, I'm really happy that they did this EZA. She's definitely built for an Android's team. You can see it clearly in her passive, all the stat gains from Androids, all those sort of things are undeniable. She's basically built to thrive on an Android's team, which is fine. When they make free-to-play units that are super niche, it's not really the biggest issue in the world for me, because obviously from my side, I think making niche free-to-play units that help to augment a category helps more than just making super flat generic free-to-play units that don't really help categories come together. So I think Android 18 is a perfect example of them kind of focusing in on a unit and just kind of going from there. But we're going to leave this now. I think we've seen enough of Android 18. We'll watch her take damage without an item. Not that it matters too much, because she's going to take a tremendous amount of damage, obviously, without an item. But yeah, otherwise, let me know what you guys think about Android 18. Have you used her? Do you plan on using her? Are you going to attempt the Android's ESBR? Or what do you think? Do you think she's not useful? Did you not even bother farming her? I'd like to know your thoughts. But that's pretty much going to be it from me for this video. So as always, guys, if you enjoyed the video, leave a like. Otherwise, leave out any other thoughts in the comments down below. But I'll thank you guys for watching. And yeah, as always, I'll see you guys in the next video. But until then, take care, stay safe, and bye.